You are listening to the new Super Sound Showcase sponsored by Culture Fix here on WMBG. I am your host, Robert Hodge, and today, this might be the best episode we've ever done because I tell you, I'm so excited about the musicians that are in the studio with me now. Carl Warren is here, Bobby Hornsby is here, Rob Oliver, Robin Gustin, and Polly Goodman. And let me tell you what, these people are calling themselves an act of kindness, and they are about to deliver that truly because the music that they are about to present, it's got me so excited. Carl, you're an amazing talent.
Thanks.
Welcome.
I don't know if it's the best. You had Anthony Rosano in here.
Well, did I say the best? I don't think I stopped short of that, didn't I?
Yeah, you might be the best, something like that.
You
All right.
really might be.
Yeah. You say that to all of them, don't you?
I said it might be the best episode we've ever done.
Okay.
you will be in the Emmy running from Rosano, too.
I was just doing a little hats off to Anthony.
Yeah. No, you know what? He is in a class by his own. But you did. I have not heard you live until today. Carl and I, actually, it's kind of funny how I came across you. My music partner, Andrew Ballantyne, saw you at Second Sundays, and then, of course, he's laughing because he knows the story. Andrew came home just full of compliments about Carl Warren. He goes, you got to meet this guy, you got to see this guy. And then I found out that he had bought speakers from you on Craigslist or something crazy.
I was surprised they were all good stories because it was funny, yeah.
Oh, no, he was absolutely mesmerized by your music.
I played Second Sundays, and I was announcing that I had CDs for sale, and I saw this guy walking by carrying a guitar, and I mentioned that he looked like a self-employed musician, and he probably didn't have enough money for a CD. And he told me, I didn't recognize him, he told me that a year or two before he was the one that bought my old speakers.
Isn't that hilarious?
And I was like, man, just unpack it, come play a song. And he turned out to be great. He played with me.
I really shouldn't give away his big secret, but Andrew's kind of tight. He's always got a wallet full of money. So he had plenty. He could have bought all them CDs that day.
He bought my speakers.
Well, there you go.
There it is.
Go. But anyway, I'm intrigued. You run an open mic.
I do.
Tell me about that because that's really where you found all these people, right? You didn't show up at open mic, Bobby, did you?
It's a community kind of thing. I went through vocal cord surgery, and so I kind of pulled myself off the scene for a while because I couldn't sustain my job, my only job I've known. I did run the open mic for a long time at a venue down at the beach, but so it was a godsend that I ended up at Steel Pier Cafe running an open mic, and this time it turned into something different than I had thought it was going to, and I was very happy about it. We had all the community came together, and if somebody got up to sing and play, if their pitch was good, I'd sing harmony, and if their rhythm was good, I'd play drum. And I encouraged that atmosphere so much that we had all kinds of players like pedal steel and piano and saxophone and harmonicas and harmony singers. So if you came in and if you were solid enough, even if you didn't do this professionally for a living, you could front a 7-8 piece band.
Nice.
And we'd have heavy hitters like Steve and Stacy Stevens come in and all kinds of folks, and they would play, and even Mark Dunn was in last night. Right. And then they would graciously sit in with the other folks, and I'd be playing drum and looking up at their faces, and they're looking at me like, what is this magic? And it was a thrill, and I think that's why people kept coming back. And then a lot of really great players as sidemen would come just to be on tap if anybody wanted to use them. And now it's turned into quite a community event. Every week we do it at Big Woody's now every Wednesday. Okay. And it's a nice big stage with 2 subwoofers and speakers on the ceiling and monitors all around.
Where is Big Woody's?
It's General Booth Boulevard in Virginia Beach.
Okay, so way out in Virginia
And
Beach.
every Wednesday 7 to 10.
Okay.
We had a nice little birthday celebration for Terry Breen last night.
All right, well, I'm coming in there one day because I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Nice.
And
bring the keyboard.
An Act of Kindness is sort of a production of the best of what you found.
Well, we had a core group that kept showing up for everyone, and we kind of backed each other up. So we had quite a repertoire and like 4 different front men. Polly was doing a set, and we'd back her up, and I'd do a set, and they'd back me up. And then whenever we needed, we'd get a call from like the Alzheimer's Association and ask if we wanted to do the walk, be the band for the walk. And I'd send up a flare to the guys and go, hey, you want to come join me and use your powers for good? And they always said yes. And there were different reasons why each of us would do that and send up a flare. And we kept backing each other up in that respect, too, as a community thing.
The Alzheimer's people call me about once a month, actually, and they ask me who the president is.
But after we did enough of those, we kind of formed an accidental band with this great repertoire and all. Right. And I wasn't comfortable just calling it Carl Warren and Friends again because we were actually it was a different kind of thing. So I was the one that suggested that we just call it an act of
I like
kindness.
that. And you know, the music that you've chosen, at least what I've heard today, really fits that name. It's beautiful. It's lovely
Yeah,
music.
that's a byproduct of these people. It's Rob Oliver and Polly Goodman and Jeff Goodman and Holly Kirsten, and that's kind of the core. But we have, since it's so many, like Robin Gustin is sitting in today covering the high harmonies, and I'm very grateful. And Bobby was hitchhiking on the way to the gig. We picked him up.
Wow.
And that's he doesn't even have a mic to defend himself. This is great. Yeah.
I seem to remember there's another musician in your family too, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yes.
He's that dulcimer player I've been reading about.
He does play dulcimer.
I'd love to hear that.
I have, I'm sort of Carl's Williamsburg guy.
Okay.
He
Nice.
grabs when he's coming to town.
Yeah.
Awesome.
When I found out this was a Williamsburg
I'm
thing, I
so
sent up
grateful
a
that
flare.
he did bring you along. I'm so happy you're here.
We've been
Really?
pals since he started playing with Louis McGee back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so-
Right out of high
Very
school
Well,
for me.
All
Yeah.
right, now let's talk about music.
Okay.
When did music choose you? Because I'm quite sure it did.
Ooh. I have this thing now. I'm a grandfather now, and I that's what I blame it on. If I talk about stuff that means anything to me, I just cry. So
Oh, well,
we might deal with that. When I was it's there's definitely a set story, and it's when I was 11 years old. I was the youngest of 6 kids. We moved around a lot like a Navy family because my father was the officer in charge of the Immigration Service. We were on the largest port of entry, San Isidro, and we were stationed in Norfolk, Virginia for a year, and then we were going on to Frankfurt, Germany. Karl Conrad Warren would be speaking fluent German by now. But as soon as we got here, he died of a heart attack at 43 years old in front of us. So everything seemed immediately, for an 11-year-old kid who just left off everybody I knew as my friends in California, everything immediately sounded petty and frivolous. And the only thing that really reached, everybody's got that thing where you have no idea how this feels. And that was definitely a turning point for me. And the only thing that reached all the way in and made me feel not so damn alone were my old albums. If anybody was going real deep, and it didn't matter if they were screaming like Zeppelin or writing like Paul Simon or doing everything
Best of the
Beethoven
best
does or
always
Frank
do so.
Zappa or
Right.
Pat Metheny, or every time somebody went way deep, I'd go, oh my God, I felt like that. And I think it's the only thing that saved my life back
All right,
then.
think back to those records right now. You can only play one more time. Which one is it?
Yes, Close to the Edge.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
That answer hadn't changed in years.
tell me about your writing, because the music you've written, the music you're playing today, you wrote all of that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, where does the writing come from?
It comes from that 11-year-old boy. I realized how powerful that moment was for me. It chose me for a living then.
Right.
And anytime, even if I'm playing somebody else's stuff, I've chose it and I perform it, usually with even if it's a subconscious thought, to go way deep
Right.
to a place that comes out honest enough that somebody, even if I don't know what's happening, someone in the room goes, oh my God, I've felt that way.
Well, yeah.
I don't feel
Well,
so
that's the whole
alone.
point. And you know,
And I
think
gravitate towards those kind of players.
the most freeing advice that ever came into my hands was from Patti LaBelle, actually, and she told me, just stop worrying. She goes, anything you do from your heart is right. It's never wrong.
Well, if there's ever a woman that could open up and let it all out,
I
it
know.
was her, yeah.
Well, actually, the funny story is when I first met her, my friend Linda Hopkins, a blues lady, had been her friend for many years, and she introduced us. And I don't know what came over me. My sense of humor can be a little strange. And she was just so sweet. And she said, oh, if it's your mama, I'm her sister, and I'm Aunt Patty. And we were just friends. And I was talking to her and just gushing a little bit. And all of a sudden I said, well, you know, the only thing I can think of to tell you critically is if you could just learn to feel the music a little. She looked at me and said, who are you talking to? I realized she didn't get that I was kidding her. It was a funny moment. So I think she still remembers it. But anyway,
funny.
But as far as your songwriting, what comes first? Are you thinking of a message you want to put out there, or the melody starts to form? Where does it come from?
It's different. There's sometimes I have a friend named Barbara Nesbitt, and it's funny because sometimes you can. Of course, the lyrics mean a lot to me, and I always have things that I feel strongly about. And at the same time, she described the songwriter folk circles, like at Kerrville.
Uh-huh.
She said, you know, they're all sitting around and they strum guitars and they're emoting, and I swear every damn one of them, his name was Ernest. So I try to be careful of that. A lot of times there's lyrics that I want out there, and every once in a while I'll just pull up I'll put on a bass and go in the kitchen and go, I don't care what I write next time, but it's gonna feel like this, because I just don't want one more Kumbaya song. So they come from all different approaches.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I like that. And that is a perfect explanation. I like that answer a lot. All right, so I want to do the first song. If you are just tuning in, you're listening to the new Super Sound Showcase, sponsored by Culture Fix on WMBG. I'm Robert Hodge, and we have a group called An Act of Kindness. Tell us about the first song. What do we got coming up here?
The first song is called On the Horizon.
All right.
And it's about a guy that lays low and he likes his feet in the soil, and it's about a girl who gets on airplanes and flies around the world all the time, and it's about on the horizon where the soil and the sky meet.
Are you the guy?
Or
is it about somebody?
Yeah, let's go ahead and play this song.
Okay. All right, let's hear it.
Well, I hear you're flying out somewhere again, from some online news feed or maybe a friend. And I'm sending all of my love again, wishing you safe and warm. Got my feet in the soil on this overcast day. I can't find my shoes, but I like it that way. Grounded and knowing my love stays protected away from harm. My wishing well's dried up, I don't wonder why. For my reverie lies where the earth meets the sky. And closing my eyes, I let out a sigh. I see you out on the horizon. Faraway kingdoms you take to the skies. So often the stars shine right out of your eyes. And all the townspeople stand mesmerized by the diamond that you've become. Beneath all that pressure, there's someone I see. No words can convey what that girl means to me. No place on earth where I'd rather be, no matter where I'm from. My feet, they grow restless, I look to the skies. I wake from these dreams where I know I can fly. And as my eyes open, I wonder if I can see you out on the horizon. This road never touches the sky. They tell me it's only a trick of the eye. Their voices just fade. I'm waving goodbye. You'll see me out on the horizon. You can find me out on the horizon.
Wow, I feel like we should have a studio audience to just give you some thunderous applause.
I feel like we brought one.
Well,
Kind of, yeah.
but you know what? though?
Yeah.
You are absolutely committed when you perform, and I think that's one reason that your music is capable of transporting people. I just was kind of floating around while I was listening to
I
that.
think
It
I
was
should be
absolutely
committed.
beautiful. Oh, I'm sure your day is coming. Don't worry. Like all of us. You know, I loved the first biography I ever read about Mozart. It said that half of genius is madness, and I thought, I understand
I'm
it.
halfway there.
I understand it. I really do. All right, so listen, we are going to go to a couple of commercials. We are streaming live on the WMBG Radio Facebook page, and that will continue, actually, while we are away on a commercial break. And then suddenly we will be back with the second half of Super Sound Showcase, sponsored by Culture Fix on WMBG. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, we are back, and this is Super Sound Showcase. I am Robert Hodge, and we are sponsored by Culture Fix, and my thanks go out, of course, to all of our friends over there, to Steve and Jen and Shirley, and I got to tell you, it is such a privilege to have the great musicians of the area come in here and perform live in this studio, and I tell you, I'm having just as much fun today as I think I've ever had. Because everybody here is just marvelous. So I know you've been listening to it. If you're just joining us, I'm sorry you missed it, but tomorrow the video will be up on Facebook. It will be, not on Facebook, it'll be up on YouTube, and it'll be on our website, WMBGradio.com, and anywhere that Carl decides he's going to put it, it can be all over the place, and it'll probably be viral in just a few moments, probably after we release it, because everybody's going to love this. And tell us about what the next song is. What are you going to play, Carl?
The next one, that's one of those that I'll probably cry if I talk about it. It's called A Choice, and my brother is one of my heroes. He's Joseph Warren. He's a scientist in Colorado.
Okay.
But he went with a whole lot of donations and a handful of friends and scientists, and he went and joined the Lakota Sioux when they were having that whole standoff issue.
Wow, sure.
And there's a lot of stories I can't tell because I will just break down here. But there's one I hope I can tell it. There was a lot of folks that would come out there with the best of intentions to help, but they got in over their heads because they were they would post, don't bring winter gear, bring Arctic gear. It gets 20 below here, more or less. And so a lot of folks that would show up with the intention of helping, they themselves needed saving.
Sure.
And there's a lot of stories there about how the Lakota Sioux would bring them into their own campsites and teach them their ways and all. And my brother ended up being part of that.
Wow.
But there was one story that came out of it I heard that I don't know how you hear it without it changing you. They had a bulletin board that went up for the folks that were in over their heads, what kind of stuff they would need, please send extra clothing or 0-degree sleeping bags or whatever. And with all the donations, the Lakota Sioux would actually have all these supplies, and every day they would check the bulletin board and they would go supply these people. That included the law enforcement. So the law enforcement were like, hey, we're in over our heads and we need this gear, and they would gather up all these things and they'd bring them to them by day, and then at night they were pelting them with rubber bullets and spraying them with water cannons and 20 below. And then the next day the Lakota Sioux would gather up all the things they needed and bring it to them again. And that's the kind of thing, I don't know how you hear that without it changing you.
And well, not only that, but it's making me realize that we really did only hear half of that story on the media. So that's one more illustration.
Half
there
is
always
generous.
being another story. Yeah, always being another side of the story that we didn't know. And I'm glad you told that. That's a beautiful story.
Well, that's
I
kind of
love
where
that.
this song came from. This song was written on Earth Day this past year.
Nice.
And I'm really happy about this particular band playing it today. They're doing a nice job.
Well, I look forward to hearing it.
Come on in.
So it seems we have a choice, and it lays before our feet. How we choose to use our voice, and what challenges we meet. as we turn and face a brand new generation. And when we pass the torch as keepers of the flame, do we offer it with pride and veneration? Or do we hang our heads beneath the weight of ignorance and shame? Let's take a look at where we are on this road and where it leads. Mother Earth has brought us far. She never noticed how she bleeds. Is it our legacy to hand down the disaster? Can we defend the sad agreements that we've made? Do we explain away how money was our master? Can we face the fact it even was a God to whom we pray? Oh. We read what we set in motion. That's one law we can't avoid. May our sacred earth and ocean never be destroyed. When we introduce the notion, careless greed should be employed with the logic and emotion of an asteroid. Now we know just what's at stake as we awaken from this sleep. There are priorities to make, and there'll be promises to keep. To live in harmony is not so hard to practice. We treat the planet like the people who we love. It's time to do away with noises that distract us and be the heroes that we always seem to place so high above. We were made of light and stardust. That's one truth we can't forget. It would seem our
Nice.
Good. I like it. I like when the bottom just drops out and it's over. That's fun. Oh, wow.
We like it too.
Yeah, everybody's on the same page at the end. That's
Yeah.
always a good thing. Wow, I like that song. Now, have any of the people that were involved in all that conflict, have any of them heard this song?
Yeah. Well, my brother certainly. Yeah.
Wow. Now, is there a recorded catalog of your music?
There's only a demo recording that I did at home, but actually when I sent it to my brother, he's I'm hoping to include some of the Lakota Sioux on that.
Well,
bridge.
I'm not talking about just that song, but I mean, is there a recorded catalog of any of your work? I mean, do you
Oh
do you
yeah.
have CDs
If you go to carlwern.com, you can find it. Carl with a K. Wern is like Werner on that ladder without the last R. WERNE. And you can find there's Live at Abbey Road with Eddie Williams from years and years back. There's Live at Hampton Bay Days with the All-Star Team, which was cool. There's This Little Notebook was the most recent one, and it's got all my heroes, everybody from Tim Reynolds to Chris Gage from Jerry Jeff Walker's band. That was a blast. That was quite a CD release show.
I've had a really interesting relationship back and forth with Tim Reynolds. And he was on the show a few months ago, and it was really funny. I went to a show that he did in Richmond, and I was hanging out with him afterwards. And, you know, he doesn't have one of those fancy tour buses. He's got like an old Winnebago that's been converted into a nice thing, you know. But I told him, I said, dude, it's like 1970 on here, and I won't ever forget what he said. And he looked at me and goes, oh, yeah, dude, every day's 1970 at my house. I don't know what that means exactly, but okay.
Was that at the National?
No, at Broadway when he was up there about 3 months ago.
Was that? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I was
Time with him
actually.
that
I
day.
have my daughter is she has a bakery in Richmond, the Tottering Teacup, 322 West Carey Street.
Okay.
And I went up to see her, and I found out as I was leaving and coming home that the Tim Reynolds Trio. And that's our drummer
CR3
too.
was there.
Dan Martyr was
Oh, I
on
wish
our
you
CD.
had come that night. We'd had a blast.
And I was just going. I left there and I saw them real quick. They were there, so I had a whole little to-go box from the Tottering Teacup.
Nice.
Brought all the sweet stuff. And Dan was like, "Oh yeah, give it to Tim. He loves that stuff."
no
So
kidding.
I was on that bus for a little while before they
On the
started,
same
and then
day.
I
Well,
left before they started because I was
See,
on
we
the
should have
show.
been friends much
That's
earlier.
funny.
Oh, shoot. Well, listen, you know what? It's unfortunate that time is running out, but I got to tell you, I am just enchanted, and I'm anxious to hear the last song, but I hate that this is coming to an end because you are just amazing.
Real quick, one thing I'd like to do is introduce everybody. Robin
Yes.
Gustin sings with St. Julian's
St.
Creek
Julian's Creek Revival.
Revival.
Okay.
Yes. Polly Goodman is also with Uncle Jack as well as an Act of Kindness.
Okay.
Rob Oliver, he's played with a whole lot of folks, but he's in an Act of Kindness also. Bobby Hornsby plays with whoever he wants to. damn sure with me whenever he's available.
Right.
You know,
It's all good.
I just wanted to make sure everybody. This was quite a nice day.
And
Thank
do
you
you know
very
my
much.
name?
I do, Robert.
Okay, just checking. Want to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yeah, and we're gonna feature Jacob on this with vocals.
Jacob is our production guy, and he almost dropped the camera.
You should have
Just
seen
a
his
moment
face.
ago. Yeah, he loves those surprises that we throw at him from time to time. What is this song?
This is called How Much Love.
All right.
And I ain't gonna cut.
This is from Carl's This Little Notebook album.
Well, this is from the CD, the little notebook. Okay. Thank you.
How much love can one heart take? Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Yeah. Sing it, Jacob. How much love can one heart make? Let's find it out. Let's find it out. I can see you standing there, and you are one of a kind. And as the sunlight dances through your hair, well, I wonder just what's on your mind. I remember you once told me what this world has done to you. You said if someone could just hold me, maybe I could see this through. know it's easy to feel broken when you're tattered and you're torn. But to me you're just as beautiful as the day that you were born. So tell me, how much love can one heart take? Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Oh yeah. Yeah, one more thing, please tell me, how much love can one heart make? Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Well, I know it feels like mountains in your way, and no one knows the rocky road brought you standing here today. I don't mean to oversimplify the healing power of love, no. But to one thing I would testify, whenever a push comes to a shove, that the walls you've built demand a certain level of respect. They're scaffolding of everything that you are trying to protect. So tell me, how much love can one heart take? Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Yeah. Here, one more thing, please tell me, how much love can one heart make? Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Let's see what we can get ourselves into. Bridge. Here's a new vibration, and it's spreading through the land. You're the answer is connection now, so just take me by the hand and tell me, how much love can one heart take? Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Yeah. Yeah, one more thing, please tell me, how much love can one heart make? Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Yeah. How much love can one heart make? Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Let's find it out. Yeah, one more thing, please tell me, how much love can one heart make? Let's find it out. Little heart make, yeah. Let's find it out. Let's find it out, yeah. Won't you tell me, baby, how much love can one heart take? Let's find it out. Let's find it out.
Nice. I love that. And I'm going to make two predictions. First of all, that is a hit song. It's just waiting to happen.
It's track number 1 on the
That
little notebook
is
CD.
crazy good, and I need that so I can start playing it on the air. That's
Excellent.
amazing. And I predict that if you've been listening to this, and I know it applies to me too, I'm going to have a great rest of my day.
Nice.
Because that just set me up for it. I'm
Nice.
happy, and I'm just, that really did something to me.
Jacob's not, because when he started clapping, he dropped his camera.
Well, actually, I'm looking forward because, you know, Jacob does great videos. I'm looking forward to tomorrow because there's going to be that 1-2 second thing where the camera's shaking because he was holding it at that moment. Usually it's on a tripod, but he's like, "Wah!" That's going to be the only flaw we've ever seen in any of his productions.
We were
So-
jamming, he was jamming.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He was.
I like that. I like that when he was laughing, she was filming him.
All right. Well, you know what? This
We
has
just made
been-
you famous.
This has been such a fun day, and I'm so grateful. And it just goes to show you that when 5 extremely talented artists come together in the name of music, this is what happens. And it was just magnificent. I've
Thank
had
you
such
so
a
much.
good time, and thank you to all of you for being here. And
Thanks for this opportunity.
And please come back because I am thrilled.
Yeah.
Good to see you, brother.
Well, it's good to see you too.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And yeah, you know, I could do this a lot. So y'all,
Oh,
y'all
well then,
write
we'll see you tomorrow.
Write down this address because I want y'all to live here. Hey, maybe my show will get big enough one day that I can have a resident
house
sidekick
band?
band. That would
Nice.
be awesome. Y'all be my choice. All right, so thank you to Culture Fix for sponsoring this show. Thank you to WMBG for giving us a chance to support live and local music. And thank you all for listening. It is the highlight of my day, as always, to be on the radio and to get to play great music. So thank you so much. I will be back tomorrow with your show from 12 to 3, and we will have Super Sound Showcase next Thursday once again. So back to the music you love. Here is Rick Astley with Together Forever.